Okay, so it is on YouTube. All right. So we're gonna go over the buy one, get one free trip that's coming up for November. Thanksgiving, Black Friday. I think that's on the 29th. It's actually my mom's birthday. So that buy one, get one, I put out last week, two, right? One was for an all-inclusive, and then the other was a the 7 night resort stay. Y'all help me out here.
I think so.
Yeah, it was two night and 7 night.
2 night and 7 night. Okay, one's all inclusive, one is not. Okay, so that is what you can use for your Black Friday all the way up to Cyber Monday. Is super duper easy. I gave the landing page. You just type in the email. Now here's how it works: the buy one get one free, meaning the buy one get one the trip. The way it works is they have to make a deposit with you, right? And then you say, "Hey, congratulations! You have now earned yourself another trip based on the completion of payments for your current trip." Y'all understand? Don't be giving away a free trip if the person hadn't paid their complete payments. Okay. Does everybody understand that? You can let them know at the deposit point, because that's your promo. Congratulations. That's when you're going to send them out a little letter, an email. We'll be doing that after the buy one, get one, so that you guys can kind of understand what you're going to send to them and what the rules are for the buy one, get one. So that'll be the following Tuesday after, Thanksgiving holiday. So you'll be able to send that information in the email directly to your people. They'll already have it coming from when you put their information in, but no, I'm sorry, they won't have it because you won't put their email in for that trip until they have that trip paid off. Because the time starts ticking on that trip. And what that means is activation time starts ticking. And there's a certain 30-day period where they will have to activate that trip code in order to go on it in 2 years. So there's a method to the madness. So again, deposit, congratulations. We're going to send them an email, let them know what they won, and upon completion, the rules and everything that goes accordingly. Okay. Everybody understand it. Don't give the trip out before the payment, the trip is paid. Any questions? All right.
No, I'm good.
Okay, great. All right. So now, currently working on this trip right here, Greece, for one of our very own Miss Paula Marie. She is going to be doing this trip that I put out for October. We originally have 4 through, I think, 4, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think the 11th, 4th to 10th, something like that. Anyway, we had to shift it to the right because now that our anniversary is October the 4th, I have to shift it to the right, make it good to do. So now we did, and we still have it good to go. So this is what you're seeing right here on the screen of the Greece trip. And this might be new to some people who didn't get the chance to go over it, because I think we did this about, according to when I published it last 9 months ago. So very early in the year, which that's what we do. We start out very early in the year with our 20, we start working right now in November on our 2026 trips going into the first part. So normally between November and March, we pretty much got all of 2026 completed and ready to already publish and collecting money. So this one right here is how this one's set up. Once you let you know what's all included, one of the things I'm glad she sent me her itinerary to review because I had to tweak some things on mine, right? This will include ferry tickets, the transfers, all this great good stuff. It also include a few excursions in there, which you see right here, the excursions that are not included are optional, but they can't click on it if they want to purchase it on their own. That's just a method that you can do. You can do it this way, and then I'll also show you the other way. Putting out the itinerary, and the itineraries that doesn't say optional, those are those are the excursions and activities that are included. So as we go down here on the pricing, let me go ahead and edit this so you can see it. As we are under pricing, you have an option. I told you it was one way. You have an option that you put it one time already in your itinerary. So you're giving them a chance to view it more than one time when you do it this way. The first time you did it, you put it in the itinerary, they can click a link. You got some people that can do that. You know, so you got some people that don't read and they'll pass over it. But you're going to give those people a second opportunity to be able to now see it where you have extra options. Even though I got it in the itinerary already for them to click on it to book direct themselves, I also have it for, again, those who might have overlooked it, as another way to be able to add it to their package so they can pay on it, right? This has proven to be very effective. I put a pre and post date in there already too as well. And you see for 4/31, that's what the pre and post, and I even have it annotated in also the itinerary as well. So this is just an option that you can do to kind of just keep putting it in front of your client. You put it in first time, put it in again for a second time, so they can see it multiple times in different ways, okay? Any questions about that? All right. Now, just to dot the I's and cross the T's on here, you want to make sure, it's very important that you put charge client convenience fee. That won't be checked out because we're doing supplier. But this one right here, because I'm about to go and show you how I'm about to change this from direct to supplier. When you click right here, offer client option, no, not the one. Allow custom payments. This one right here. This one's on direct and this one's on supplier. You want to make sure that you have that annotated. Allow custom payments. Also have use monthly payment schedule. Boom, because you got some people who may pay it off, you know, or pay a little bit extra. You might have some that don't have enough to pay at that time. But then what I don't want you to do is limit your people from having to be able to pay more. You know, we always think about, well, what if they don't pay less? No, you let them know the minimum payment amount that you need to make on your plan is what you have. You can't do nothing less than that. We want them to be able to do that minimum amount or plus some. So not limiting them. So use monthly payment schedule and allow custom. Make sure that check. If it's not, you're only going to have two things on your as an option for your people. They're only going to have the option to make a deposit and final payment. And that's it. Right? So let me hit publish real quick to make sure. All right. So now this one, like I said, we did this back in February, March, earlier this year. So we have come a long way and we've changed some things. So no direct, right? So I also have it set up for supplier right here. When you switch over from direct to supplier, because I know a lot of you probably already have some currently out, right? There is a way you can still switch it over. If you already got payments booked on that trip, there you can't. You cannot switch it over. It's a done deal, because travel is, you're going to get a little verb that says you still have payments or payments have been made. So you can't really close it out. You would have to keep it open in order to have those current people that you have in there to make their payments. Now, what you could do is you can duplicate it like I did this one right here. And how you duplicate, you just simply hit that little three dots at the very top right-hand corner where I just did on the publish, hit duplicate, and this little box will come up. It's going to ask you how you want to select the payment type. So I want to change this from direct to supplier, right? I'm going to put it in the same trip because we're still here. I'm going to put it in this. I'm not duplicating it for nothing else. I want to put it right here, and I'm going to hit supplier, and I'm going to hit continue. So now I have right here where it says, which one? What's today? October the 30th, 2024, group booking page. That is a supplier group booking page. And so now this is a new booking link. So if you have a current booking link that is direct only, you want to switch it up to make it supplier, this is how you would do it. But keep in mind, you cannot use this booking link for future bookings anymore. You will have to use the new booking link that you have now created from making your duplication. Now, when you do a duplication, I want you to be mindful. Some of your stuff may not convert it all the way over. So make sure you're looking at everything and that everything is the same, particularly the pricing that's in there. I've noticed that sometimes they wouldn't do, like if you had single occupancy and double occupancy listed on your original one, when it converts over, it's only going to have the double occupancy price. You'll have to go back in and put in the single occupancy price. It's not a big deal, but just keep in mind there will be that small amount of change. So just make sure everything is the same as you're looking through it. And here we are at the very bottom, like I showed you for the direct. Now it's going to have use monthly payment schedule. Bam. That's what you're going to have. And that's what the people are going to be able to see. So when they hit something, they're able to select they can see their payment plans. And we're going somewhere with that because I said that a couple of times, payment plans, right? So here, just one last thing. If you haven't named it, it's going to rename itself. So it's going to be blank. So I'm going to name this one, this is like a change tester for right now. And now I'm gonna publish it. So this keeps me from getting nothing confused, right? Okay, so now the question that was coming up, well then, okay, Janae, thank you. I now know how to switch out from a direct to a supplier while still having an active trip. Now, how do I go about separating church and state, right? So glad you asked. All right, here's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to show you what I do when I'm creating my trips. I use cultural holidays, as most of you guys know, right? How I build the trip is how I put it in here so that I'm able to remember what I did to get what I got, right? Michelle, you have a question?
Yes, I do. And I don't know. So so this trip right here, is it still available for us to post it? I mean, is there still openings? How do we know?
Yep, it's still available because it's not until October 2025. The closeout is August the 1st, 2025.
Okay, so I just have a question, and Jay and you might have to answer this. So Jay did a trip that she included us on that we could promote, but that one had to be done through Culture Holiday. Can you tell me what the difference is? Why one had to be like through Culture Holiday and these ones are not? Like that one was put in my back office, if that makes any sense. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
This is through Culture Holidays. It's just different in retrospects in certain things. But
Okay.
this one is directly in Culture Holidays.
Okay.
All the trips that we do, Greece, Dubai, Bali, are all in Culture Holidays. Great question. So this is what you'll see in Culture Holidays. Right here, don't mind the dates, y'all. All right, so here is what Culture Holidays would do. I don't pay attention to this agent rate, but I do only pay attention to this when I'm doing an agent trip. And y'all saw I had an agent one I already posted. That's where this comes into play. For the client trip, this is where this comes to play. Now I'm gonna tell you my golden rule of thumb. the price point, I like to keep things within 2,500 because I know I can go to Greece and have an amazing time between $2,000 and $2,500. I missed Greece last year with my mom, and I'm gonna miss it again this year. So this second year I haven't gone, and I'm like, okay, now this is game over. So now, and I go, I spend maybe 1,000 to 1,500 on a ticket, sometimes less, depends on when I get it, if I don't wait till last minute. And then I have hopped all 3 islands, took ferries and planes, all of that, and actually came out of my pocket between, again, $1,800 and $2,500. So I know it can be done. So when I see a price point that has a single occupancy that's starting out at $3,229, yeah, I don't do that. That's not me, because I can tell them how to go cheaper than $3,229. That's just me. That doesn't have to be you. This is me. So if you're ever asking what happened, no, the date hasn't changed. This is the old date. The date has, yep, you got it. I'm looking at the chat. All right. So Culture has already said this is what $3,229, and it's a $484 commission based on the 15%. This is a 15% commission from Culture Holidays already. You cannot change this right here. It's already done. No one can change this. The 484 stays where it is. This is 484 where it's going to be paid out to IntelliTravel. IntelliTravel is going to take their 30% or their 20% based off your level, and then cut you the check for the remainder, right? Now, my limit has always been $400 that I would do a markup for if the commission was $329 like it is. My goal is to have a $400 commission. That is my goal, right? So because this is not quite $400, can somebody tell me the difference between $400 and $329? If you tell me what that answer is, that will be what would go right here.
71.
$71. Okay, so you don't see, I don't have it on here, right? But if you see in my notes on here, look what I wrote myself. No single supplement because of cost. And then I told myself I'm going to offer a reduced deposit, $100 and $200 off. Like a reduced deposit was $100, and then I offered $200 off. So $25.86 per person is $24.86 per person. That's what my notes to myself was. So then I got my price point, which was $21.93. That includes my $329 commission, but now I'm short $71. So I'm like, okay, let's go in here. And we're still on the 2,500. That's why I'm doing it. So I go in here and I'm like, okay, I got the travel insurance already included. Looked it up. So it's tour from unforeseen double. Now listen, this is the top one. You don't have to get the top one. To me, my price, because of what's been happening a lot lately with just crazy stuff happening, just, what happened to the flights all going crazy, and flooding in Dubai, just stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm not dealing with all this other stuff. I'm just going to go for the top unforeseen reason. If I can get it in a reasonable price point where it's still under 25, then we're going to make it work. Of course, you have the classic pan, you got the cancel for any reason, which is most oftentimes cheaper sometimes than the tour for unforeseen. So that was $247, and that $71 is my markup. So I took the $247 and the $71, I added it to the $21.93. That's how much it costs to pay for the trip. And my price point is $25.11. So now what am I getting from the client? As far as the price for the supplier. This is almost like a trick question.
So you're asking what is the client's price, total price?
Mm-hmm. So, because remember, when you're doing a supplier, what are you going to send to the client to get the authorization for the credit card?
Okay, Oh, okay. So for the authorization for the credit card would be the cost of the audience plus the cost of the trip. And then you will send them a separate invoice that's outside of this for your $71 markup.
Go ahead, Marla. Woo, woo. Get Marla. I got my girl. That's what I'm talking about. Does everyone understand what Miss Marla just said?
No, can you
No.
repeat that again?
No, can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Marla.
Okay, well, so basically, so you have to send in the cost with the suppliers, which is the 2193, and then the cost of the Allianz insurance, which is 247. That's that's one bill, and then the markup is what your fee or convenience fee or whatever you want to what to call it, that's the $71. So you can't put those together, so that $71 have to be billed to the customer separately. It can't be in the price of the trip.
All right. And if you're still confused, no problem, because it is confusing. So that's why I'm going to show and tell on this right here. So we got about 30 minutes for the show and tell. So 2193 plus 247 is 2440, right? Everybody remember the magic number 2440. And then $71 is our markup. Or that's the money that's coming to me. $71 coming to me. 2440 is going to the supplier. All right, let's do this. Going under your group files, right? So this one that I just did is supplier. I have to go in here. And as you see, I'm keeping my price point $25.11, because when you add that $24.40 and the $71, it's $25.11, right? $25.11. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? So I'm going to jump over here to one of our lovely Miss Paula. She actually did this in her thing. Let me jump over. Right here. I think I could do this in yours. Greece. All right. So she is using herself as her own guinea pig, right? So she already made herself in here and sent herself an invoice for what it would look like. Now, on the 2511, that's what you're receiving, correct? And that's the total that you need to receive, period. Now, when you get people, you're going to get that $200 payment, right? That's going to be for their credit card, that they're going to do for the deposit. You have to get that initial payment, right? To do this right here. Let's say she already made her payment, and this is what it looks like for her. It's giving her her total. We're going to pretend like, let me duplicate this. Hold on. Okay, so this is the tester one, because I don't want to mess up nothing she has. I'm going to change these prices to what our prices, what we just came up with. 25, let's say 2511, right? 2511. Oh, she's so good. She had a trip plan. So right here, she has her trip planning fee, but I'm going to take the trip planning fee off because it's separate in an aspect. So I have to delete this. And now, even though that trip, they authorized 2511, correct? Here, what you're going to do is you're going to adjust, let's just say, I'm going to put this one. Oh, let me get rid of some payments and make this match. Add a payment. All right, so there we go, 127. Okay. All right, so average 298. We'll just say deposit. This is just based off what I just let me change this to 200 so it still make sense. 200. $200 and leaving this. And then, oh goodness. All right, now let me add a payment. Okay, so now I'm just getting it to match out. That's all I'm doing right now, just making it to match. All right, so $200, this is suppliers. Y'all see $200 deposit, and then these are the monthly payments, $298, and then you got this final payment, $225, $25.11, right? That's what the trip total is. This is what your client is going to see. What you're going to do is you're going to duplicate this one because this is the one that they got. I just showed you how to duplicate. You're going to duplicate this one because you're going to make some changes, right? Right here, we're going to change that to 2440. Edit.
Oh
We're
my
going to 2440. We heard that, Michelle.
Oh, I'm like, oh my goodness.
All right. And see, whenever you got a mismatched number down here, don't threat, let the computer do the work for you. I don't like math. So if I got more and it's saying it should be 2440, okay, so what do I need to do with this? I'm gonna delete this one. And then now I'm at 2286 and it's at 2440. So I'm just gonna hit add payment and let the computer tell me how much the difference is. And then I'll change this to where that's like that. I'm going to make sure, let me get this final payment out of here. This is very important. If you have this on your thing, get rid of it. All of these things should just say payment. Payment, payment, payment. So 2440, this is supplier only. So every month that the person on the 15th is doing their authorization, they're authorizing it for $298. And then they're going to have one that's going to be on the 30th for $154, right? This is the supplier. Now, when I said to duplicate, this is done. Boom, boom, boom. So this is the invoice that your person has. When you get it, when they make that $200 deposit, you got to go in there and you're going to have to make the changes. You're going to have to manually do these changes. Yes, you're going to have to manually do these changes. So you're going to do the manual changes for supplier. Whatever the difference is for this, when you hit next, I'm just going to save and review the email. Boom, boom, boom. So now let me just hit next and I'm going to hit save. All right. So now when you do this, keep this in mind. You're going to make, I'm doing another duplicate for her because I don't want to mess with hers. So you're making a duplicate because the thing, you're going to have two invoices. That's the whole deal. You're going to have two invoices. That's what we're doing. So how to duplicate again, you're going to select where to create it. You want to do it in the same trip that you're in. So whatever that trip is, you want to put that there. Your new invoice name will be whatever you want to call it. For me, it's going to be Tester 2. Tester 2 is going to be the direct supplier payment, like direct payment to you, like what you get, right? And so hence I'm changing this to direct. Y'all see that? The first one was for supplier, for the credit card authorization. This second one goes to you, which is direct. And then I'm gonna hit continue. So all it did was duplicate the exact same invoice. the same exact same thing. Boom, boom, boom. But y'all notice some differences. You got convenience fees and stuff in here now, right? So look at this. We're going to go in here and edit. And y'all notice on her first one, she had trip planning fee, right? So you can add an item. You can add it from the template. We'll do trip planning fee, right? This trip planning fee is $71. Now, you can make it whatever. I haven't gotten to the point where, I'm like able to give you like names of what you're creating your invoice. If you got it for trip planning fee, swag bag, whatever consult services that you have, that's what you have to base it off on what your business is doing. So trip planning fee, $71. Y'all see that gift card eligible? $71. I'm gonna hit save. We'll talk about that on a separate day. All right, so now I have trip planning fee in here. So, and I still have this $24.40. So I'm going to delete that. And I only want my trip planning fee in there. And it puts in the description for me, services include custom itinerary, hotel support before and during travel, right? $71. That's the quantity. That's all I need. And now look, all of this is different. So I have to delete because I got more on the left side than I do on the right side. So here's where you just add your payment. And you see how I put 10/30/2024? That's just Texas today. But if you want that last payment that was Mimic, you can do it so it can be the same thing. What is it? 24, 25, October.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So since this is your planning fee, right now you're putting it with your last payment. Would you put it with your, that'll be their deposit plus that? I mean, well, deposit is the other one, but wouldn't that have been a part of the first payment?
What, your planning fee?
Yes.
You can do it however you want to do it. Like, I understand what you're saying, Marla. You can do it that way. You just still have to do it this way on the front. I just did it.
Okay.
But yes, ma'am, you can. What Marla is saying is you can, if you want to use the $200 the deposit on the front end for your markup, so you can get your funds immediately, you absolutely can. Just do this in reverse. So you're going to do the trip planning fee as your direct with whatever the difference is, and then you go into whatever the deposit amount for your thing. So your deposit may be, what is it, $200? So 100. Just keep in mind, and Marla, keep this in mind. That's if your deposit is $200, like it's set, then you only gonna have $130, like just estimate, for your deposit remaining if you do it on the front end. So you know what would have to happen is you would have to do, if you're not doing a promo code for $100 special deposit, then you would have to do your deposit being the 200 and whatever that difference is. Does that make sense?
Yes, because I was thinking it would be 271 for the initial deposit.
Exactly. You got it. Okay. You are tracking. All right. So now here we go. We got it all here, $71. Now we're funding our group funds. Got our invoice. We can do no custom payments. This is my, that's my client, Paula Marie. They have a thing right here. Checking this box allows your planning fee to automatically withdraw from funds and deposit directly to your bank account. So if that is what is the case, Boom, that's what you would hit. So you don't have to worry about transferring it out. It's automatically going to come from it. It's going to do it itself.
Is this an invoice we're sending to our client, right?
Right, to our client. Yep, to our client. All right, so all the dots are dotted, the T's are crossed, and now we're going to hit preview. Boop. And that's what it's going to look like. I'm going to hit next, and I'm just going to hit save.
Do you guys tell your clients that you're charging them a fee at the beginning? How
So-
do you do that?
So what you would have to do, and it's totally up to you how you want to do it. I just make that trip planning fee because it's easier for people to understand. And so yes, hence, if that's what you're going to do for your business, because Michelle, everybody does it differently, then you will let them know, hey, my trip planning fee is this. That was a good question.
What
Now,
about,
does
I had a question about the refund thing. Remember when
okay,
I
yeah.
was asking you about?
Uh-huh. Does anybody have any other questions on how to separate your invoices when you're getting money directly to yourself and when you're actually getting funds to pay the supplier?
So this is Jay. I just want to recap for clarity. When you're creating your booking page and you're setting your amount, if the total trip, including your booking fee, is all put on that booking page,
Mhm.
right? So that they know the exact total. So if your trip was $2,000, your booking fee is that $71, the trip will actually say $2,071. So they know that's the total. Once you have that created and then they go ahead and make their deposit, you have their payment plan under them, but then you would go ahead and create a separate invoice for whatever that difference was, which will be the $71. And then you still use the card that's authorized from the first invoice. You will be able to use that card to pay this. Or do you have to send this to them to pay that themselves? Are you using the card that's authorized, like the actual number, or are you
No.
sending an invoice?
Yes, I'm sending them the second invoice.
Okay, and that's why on the first invoice you lowered the amount.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So when your clients get it, they're just going to be like, hey, I got 2 invoices. Yeah, you're going to be like, hey, that's normal. Because they're going to see the total price is what it is. But I would tell you to go ahead and let your clients know, when you're having your Zooms, your informational Zooms, hey, listen, just let you know, you're going to have 2 invoices that's going to total the total amount. So make sure you don't miss it. Depending on, like I said, if you do it on the front end, it's kind of already done. If you do it on the back end, then that's when you're having these conversations to let them know they're going to have, the second invoice. Because normally when you do it after the deposit and then they're all on the authorized from that point on, it's like they kind of know and balance it out and know that, hey, this is the one that you're going to be paying. So you just still will let them know it happened on the front end and you should have 2 invoices. And that's all based on when you are going to send it out to them, just to let them know. Some clients, like a lot of my clients, they may or may not even pay attention sometimes to the email. So I'm still having to reiterate, hey, check your inboxes, make sure you got your invoices. That based off whatever you have for your secondary invoices or whatever the difference, normally that's going to be the one-time payout for that invoice, period. So you won't have to be worried about them making monthly plans or whatever on your service charges and fees. You understand? So all they will have for the invoice reminder is the very one. So they'll knock out that first one, will be out the way, depending on how you do it on the front end or the back end. And then only thing you have to just let them know the recurring emails are going to be coming to let them know, hey, you got a payment reminder.
What if they pay in full?
Oh, then they're going to pay in full. You're gonna go in there and you're gonna do the exact same thing. And then this is where it gets into where Michelle was talking about for refunds. But you're gonna go in there and you're gonna do the exact same thing. Let me get out here. Which example did I want to use? I forgot. I think it's dazzling.
How you can start building your business. Right.
Patrice.
Okay. So what we'll do is Patrice,
Stacy.
that's Charles Freeway,
On it.
and we can make sure that we show you
Yeah.
exactly how they can start building, making this money.
Okay.
'Cause you
All
know,
right. So
they'll give you a blueprint.
I'm
So
going under files. This young lady, let's see, invoice right here. Let's just look at it. All right, so she paid her entire amount, 2318. So, and this is double occupancy, so she paid the 2318. So right here, let me go ahead and duplicate this off before I forget. Duplicate. Oh man. Oh dang it, I forgot.
Oh,
Nope.
because she paid it, you can't duplicate it.
I can't duplicate it. So I can't play with it like I want to play with it. So I can't show you. So here's what it will look like. So Michelle asked about the refund. So y'all see this button? I think this one, request refund right there. You can hit this button, request refund. It's going to ask you what amount, like, what amount do you want to put in? You're going to put in the difference of, whatever it is that you want to get paid directly to you. So in this case, we're saying $71. Okay. So I'm not going to do full payment. I will say partial payments. And then I will put the $71 in there. And then I will request the refund. Now, this is if you set it up. Oh dang, I can't show you that way. Ah. Man. But Michelle, that answers your question when you were talking about refunds, but that's only on direct. So Michelle's question was, hey, how do you give if a trip is non-refundable, no refunds? Isn't that right, Michelle? Michelle? Hello?
I had I had 3 different trips that I had yours, and then I had someone else's, and then I had 3. And the refunds were different. One of them was different. Well,
The refund policy.
yeah.
But then you also asked about the non-refundables.
Yes.
How do you do no refunds?
Right.
Okay. So Jay, back to you on the full pay. It has to be done differently. I forgot that I was doing it on the direct and not on the supplier. So I have to go back in and rework that. So we'll come back to that one. But in general, everybody, you guys know the differences. I'll just have to separate how to receive your payments. And that was the biggest thing. I wanted you to know how you can switch from direct to supplier, even if you have an active trip, and to also make sure that you also know how to be able to separate the two and have different invoices. But Jay's question was really good, and I had done it, but I was doing it under direct and not doing it under supplier. So I have to go back to the drawing table on that one. All right, so here we go. When you're talking about, Michelle is talking about the, I'm assuming this is the All Travelers Group Files. she's talking about the refund policy. Everybody's refund policy is different, right? Everybody's refund policy for cultural holidays should really be about the same. No, it shouldn't be no difference if you're using the same supplier. If you're not using the same supplier, then your refund policy will be different, because the refund policy is based on the actual supplier. Okay, so cultural holidays have their refund policy. It's normally like boom, 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 boom. If there's some discrepancies, then Michelle, you need to go to cultural holidays yourself and actually look on their website, because their cancellation policy is right there for you to see, because that's where I got it from. And then you can make those adjustments on your trip to make sure that, that you're the right way. Does that make sense?
Yes, because yeah, I did. I went and looked at that.
Yeah. So that's the first one. And then like, how does no refunds work for when you have someone that's booking a trip through you? I can stop sharing my screen for right now. That is really, really, really a good question. And it's really simple to answer. Non-refundable means exactly what it says, like non-refundable. If you have a non-refundable trip, that's what it was. But Michelle's question was, well, if it's non-refundable and they don't go on a trip or they have to cancel a trip, what happens to that money that goes to supplier? Well, you can request a refund from the supplier if you've been so kind to do so for your client, because you have to, when you're doing it through supplier, that's the only way you're going to get that money back. It's going to go back to the card of the client. But if you said it was no refunds, then that money that was paid to that supplier is just for the supplier. No refunds. Now, the other thing when it comes to your services and fees, if it's no refunds at all, period, then you don't have to give up your services and fees. If you're like no refunds on, like in mine, I have no refunds on service fees and something else, which covers whatever my markup and upcharge and things is, and I can still keep my money directly for me. And that you just saw how you could do that, and actually how your money goes into your virtual office. That's for you. Now, again, when paying the supplier, if you have a non-refundable trip, then that will be non-refundable. It goes into that thing. And here's something else. Based off of you wanting to fill that room, this is totally up to you. If wanted to fill that room, then depending on when this happens, you can still edit that room and put a different person in that room. So like, even if it's no refunds, they could possibly get a replacement person to pay. Like, you can help the person if you're so inclined to do so. You can help that person by getting a replacement for them. Then they can get their money back that way. It's a lot of different things you can do. So it's totally up to you, because again, it's your business and how you want to do it.
Now, if
But
they
what
have
about
an insurance, and yes,
Go ahead. What? Marlos? Both of y'all got something?
no, I think we were both asking the same question. So if it's non-refundable and then they have the insurance, that's I think that top tier that you had, isn't that the one where they can just cancel any for
So
any?
yeah, anything. Y'all,
then
don't matter.
they'll be able to get their money back in that case, but they have to file the insurance and be once it's approved through the insurance, then they can get funds back. Okay.
There you go. You got it. But that money will not come back to you in your pockets.
And
That
that
money.
won't come back to you, but it will protect your commission.
Absolutely. So that is why a lot of advisors do put non-refundable on theirs because mission protector, but I put non-refundable not on the whole trip because depending on when I'm all game because you already got insurance, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna file your claim and I know you got it for whatever reason. I got to for unforeseen reasons, so you're gonna be okay. But on like I said, on my fees and my services and anything, that portion I'm particularly clear, it's non-refundable.
Yeah, I think from now on I will be doing the for any unforeseen reasons. That would be the default.
The default. It actually is. And not that it pays more commission because it don't. It does not. It's like one of the lower one. It's not like it. The classic plan is higher. I get paid higher commission. Y'all notice that? Between your tour for unforeseen or even your cancel for any reason, it pays less than your classic plan, which is the cheaper plan.
I only ever got the cancel for any time insurance.
Okay. And y'all will start to see some differences. Even though these two are more, you get less commission. You get more commission on the actual plan that's less money.
Which one is that?
The classic.
The classic plan.
Classic. And do they have to pay the trip outright to be able to get a refund on their trip?
That is a truth. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right. The time is 1 minute till. We're about to close it out. Thank you. I hope you guys learned some things. I have it's already streamed to stream. What's that place called? YouTube. So if you want to look at it, you guys can do that. We can jump off and jump on to Director Mayberry McCombs. Next training is marketing. Good night, everyone. All right.